Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 25th of August 2023. So, what pretty much everybody in the freedom movement seems to be talking about now, and also the wider public as well, actually, is this talk of incoming mask mandates again, lockdowns, etc., etc. I did mention this a couple of days ago, and then I did say I think personally it's scaremongering and just a bit of nonsense, really. But obviously, I don't know for sure. But I suppose time will tell. It seems to be stemming from Alex Jones, the American truther guy, sort of very sort of well-known person, and he, well, the way I understand it is he's had insider information from a whistleblower in the American government who are saying that, in about a month's time, mask mandates are going to be back for travel. In about 2 months' time, they're going to be back for everybody, everywhere. And in about 3 months' time, lockdowns will be back as well. And that relates to the States, but of course it's going to be lockstep again, so it will apply wherever you are. So that's the story, and that's what everybody's talking about. And I was talking to my sister-in-law last night, me, Lorraine, and her. We're all talking about this, and she's sort of what you call mainstream, really, and even mainstream people were saying how ridiculous that they're talking about mask mandates and all of the rest of it again. So personally, I think even if it does come in, which is I think still unlikely, but even if it does come in, we're going to have so much support, and there's going to be so much pushback, I think, that they just won't be able to get away with it. And one thing I was thinking is how on top of this kind of thing we are. That's one positive we should be taking from this, by the way. We are so on top of all of this now. Back in March 2020, when the first lockdown came in and the mask mandates and everything else, we were sort of like, what on earth's going on here? We didn't know what had hit us. And even 3 months later, we still didn't know what on earth was going on. And it took us a very long time to suss out exactly what was happening and the agenda behind it and all of the rest of it. Well, this time round, especially if this Alex Jones kind of timeline's accurate, we're going to be looking at lockdowns in 3 months' time. Well, that means instead of being 3 months behind the curve, we're now 3 months ahead of the curve. We can see this stuff coming a mile off and prepare for it. And so if this stuff does come in, we'll be ready for it. And all we need to do is just get back down to our stand in the parks. If, like me, you've perhaps been easing off on that for the last few months, just get back down there and get back in touch with other people in the freedom movement who you might not have been talking to for a while, and we can all come together again, forget our differences that have boiled up, and just unite under a common banner to push this nonsense sort of firmly back, and tell them where they can go, to be honest with you. But one thing everybody seems to be saying, everybody in the freedom movement are talking about this sort of thing, and everybody are also saying do not consent to it, do not comply with it. And in fact, I think something that's trending on Twitter at the moment is hashtag do not comply or do not consent, whatever it is. So that is kind of something that's trending, which means it's going viral and what a lot of people are thinking, basically. So, if this thing comes in, the key to it is, like that thing says, is just to not consent at all, and just to say, sorry, government, but I simply do not consent to this. Your latest round of mask mandates, lockdown mandates, social distancing and all of the other restrictions. Sorry, we don't buy it now. We're not sort of going to be doing it. And frankly, you can sort of take that and shove it where the sun don't shine, along with your 15-minute cities, your climate lockdowns, and all of the other nonsense that you're trying to foist upon us. Your smart cities, your bugs, and everything else. You can just take it and shove it. Because we know what you're all about now. We're not clueless like we were 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. We know exactly what the score is. We're on to you. And, well, the message is, from me, I'm going to put it out there loud and clear from myself and from my wife Lorraine on her behalf as well. We do not consent. We do not consent to you or anything of this nature that you've got planned. Yes, we'll be obeying the common law principles, the basic principles of common law. Do no harm, cause no loss, don't breach the peace, don't breach your contracts. We'll be adhering to that, but we won't be adhering to these mandates. Oh, and by the way, we also know what mandate means now as well. So if you come out and say, right, mask mandates are back, we're mandating you to put your muzzles on again, to travel on the trains or to go into shops or whatever. Well, instead of like 3.5 years ago, where we sort of thought, oh dear, that means it's law and we're going to be fined if we don't sort of mask up, etc., etc. Well, we now know that a mandate needs our consent to that mandate for the mandate to take effect. So we know these little tricks and these little loopholes and everything else now. And I do not consent to any mandate from you. And this is how powerful we've become. And people might be sort of thinking we're powerless, but just look how far we've come in the last 3 years or so. It's absolutely amazing what we've learned, what we've found out, what we can do to sort of strike back at government tyranny, etc. And one thing I was thinking of, I kind of saw this on the Telegram group, and what we need to do is, it hasn't happened yet. There's a couple of places in America, and they kind of tend to be more institutional sort of places like universities and government offices, I think. But what they're saying is the first corporation that does it, and I would sort of take it, bring this to this country as well. Whoever the first company is to start going on about mask mandates again, we just need to boycott them, basically. Just hit them hard, just absolutely name and shame them, hit them hard. And especially if it's something like a chain, a retail chain or a pub chain. Let's say it's Wetherspoons. Not sure if they would do this or not, but let's just take them as an example. If they were the first people in this country to say, right, we're bringing in mask mandates again, you can't come into our pubs unless you muzzle up. Well, we just, first of all, everybody in the freedom movement and sort of wider out from that as well, simply boycott Wetherspoons. But also we could just get down to their front doors. We've got stand in the parks in every town, so everywhere where there's Wetherspoons, we can just get down there with our yellow boards and kind of picket their front doors, basically. Have all the signs up there saying, sort of masks, they don't work, they're against they're actually going against the Nuremberg Code. You know, you can't inflict a medical procedure onto someone, and putting a mask on is a medical procedure. You can't order people into having a medical procedure without breaking the Nuremberg Code. So we can have yellow boards like that and all sorts outside, whether it's Witherspoons or whoever might be the first people to sort of go down this line of nonsense. Anyway, I've got to get on with my next job, but I've got a bit more to say about this, so I'll be back in a bit.
So yeah, back at home now, and as I was saying in the van there, I think the key to all of this is non-compliance. Do not comply. And I think if enough of us do that very thing, just don't comply with government diktats, we will get there. And the interesting thing is, well, what I think we should have, and I've got an interesting idea, should I say, is there should be some kind of symbol or symbolology that we can use to show our non-compliance. And funnily enough, I've got an idea for that, but you're going to have to wait until tomorrow, because I'm going to put the idea together a bit more and then kind of come back and run it by you tomorrow. And it's an idea where if at least a few of us do it, that would be really good. If a lot of people do it, it'd be even better. Got no idea whether this idea is going to take off or not, but an interesting thing is I'm actually kind of nicking and adapting something that the powers that shouldn't be, did to us some time ago. It's kind of reversing it back onto them. So if you're intrigued, stick around and watch tomorrow's video. So anyway, as you all know, I didn't do a video yesterday, and that's because I had a very long 2-hour chat on a video call with none other than John O'Looney, the funeral director from Milton Keynes, who's been very outspoken. I'm sure almost anyone watching me on here will know who John O'Looney is. And yeah, we went into, as it was a 2-hour talk, pretty much 2 hours anyway, we went into a very deep dive as to what he's all about, how he became skeptical about the whole Lurgy thing, and basically stuff that he's been doing since, stuff that's happened to him. He goes into a deep dive when he had that little episode where he had to go into his local hospital, and he talks in depth about that, and also about what he thinks is going to be happening in the next few months as well, particularly concerning all of this stuff I've just been going on about. So we had a really good chat, and I'll be editing it this afternoon. Well, I say edit it, I will be putting it on my Rumble channel and my website in its entirety, so do look out for that. And gonna leave it there for now. Back tomorrow with this idea of mine, and I'll talk to you then. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.